Finding the perfect desk chair has been way harder than I ever expected. I've tried all sorts of ergonomic and desk chairs over the years, but nothing has ever felt good enough that I fell in love with it or actually wanted to recommend on my channel. That has led me here to testing out the Secretlab Titan Evo versus the Blacklyte Athena Pro, two of the most hyped gaming chairs you can buy. See, I would have never considered either of these chairs before since, I'm not a gamer, but after my Ultimate Mouse Showdown video, I have realized that just because something says gamer on it doesn't mean that it also isn't great in an office environment too. Because with these chairs in particular, there are a few features they offer which are very important to me that ergonomic chairs don't. So today, I'm comparing these two chairs in a head-to-head challenge to see not only which one reigns supreme, but whether or not gaming chairs might actually be the ultimate chair for you too, whether you work or play. Let's get into it. First, I will point out that while these chairs have a lot in common, the more time I spend with them, the more I realize they're actually quite different. I'll get into that shortly. But before we jump into that, let's talk about price. At the time of this recording, the Secretlab Titan Evo is $579 US and the Blacklyte Athena Pro is $569. So it's $10 cheaper. However, it's currently on sale for $459. For that amount of money, you get a chair that spins, rocks, reclines, has 4D armrests, and 4-way lumbar support. That's what I love about these chairs versus ergonomic ones. They're very versatile. I like to sit in very different positions during the day, and that's why these chairs really land with me. They have very wide seats, for example. So in both of these chairs, I'm able to sit comfortably with my legs crossed or just with one leg crossed, which I do a lot. There is more than enough room to sit like this comfortably for a while. Now, with that being said, the seat cushion on both of these chairs is much more firm than I expected, especially when compared to a bouncy mesh seat like the ones you often see on ergonomic chairs, like this. Secretlab uses a cold cure foam and the Blacklyte uses a dual layer memory foam, which actually seems to be a bit more comfortable, but they both aren't as squishy as I would have expected, but it's probably for durability reasons, as they both feel like they will last for years without sagging. But since I've only been using them for a few weeks, I really can't weigh in on the long-term durability or ass-forming properties of each foam. It seems to me though, the bigger your butt, the better these seats will break in. I'm about 5'10", 180 pounds, and I'm comfy enough throughout a full day in the seat, but I also shift my position around a lot too. As far as the back support goes for these chairs, they both feel good to me, and the adjustable lumbar is appreciated. I do have the lumbar support maxed out on both chairs, and while I always appreciate more, it's not something I feel I need to complain about. That being said, I don't have back pain, and I don't spend 10+ hours a day in my chair like a lot of people do. I am personally satisfied with the back posture on these chairs. However, one thing I will point out is that since they're both bucket seats, copying the design from car racing chairs, which use side bolsters on not just the backrest, but on the seat as well, I find the longer I sit in these, the more I do feel those bolsters on my body, which is both good and bad. If you have a really wide back, you may notice the back bolsters quite a bit, which could feel somewhat restrictive or maybe confining. I think some will love this and others won't. I don't mind it. Its job is to keep you aimed forward, focusing on what you're doing, right? That's what racing bucket seats are all about. I'm not used to that, having used ergonomic chairs over the years. Before I get into the differences between these chairs, here's what I love about both of these gaming chairs versus a lot of ergonomic chairs. Look how upright they go. When I'm in the zone with video editing, I like to sit very erect and take a look at this Kalami Ergo chair, for example. This is as upright as it goes. It's not upright enough as I would hope for, and it's a freaking ergonomic chair. I found the same exact issues with the FlexiSpot C7 Pro and Habata chairs I reviewed. Gaming chairs not only recline deeply, which I love, they go more upright, which I really appreciate. The Secretlab does go more than 90 degrees too, which isn't necessary, but a slight nod for that. Now, not only do I love to sit upright, I love to put my feet on the wheelbase while I'm sitting like this, and I can do that comfortably with both of these chairs. I sit upright with my feet tucked back, almost like a spring that pushes my body into the seat or upright to really help me focus. I love sitting like that. I will say though, I hit the lever with the Blacklyte chair with my leg a little more than the Secretlab one, but once I'm in the position, I'm fine. And you can spin that lever around if you want. Slight edge to the Secretlab with their backward facing lever. I'm not gonna lie, after going through the unboxing for each of these chairs and getting to know them, my first impressions were that the Secretlab chair is just a little nicer in a lot of little ways. The unboxing experience was a little nicer, like they have photos on their instructions, which Blacklyte didn't, but that didn't actually make a difference during the install, but it shows they put in a little extra effort. They both have 4D armrests, which is great, but the Secretlab ones goes a little lower, which is great, and their armrest covers are also removable, which I love. You could put on more cush ones or replace them if they get nasty. You can't replace the armrests on the Athena Pro, but will I ever need to? Unlikely. Also, the gap between the armrests and the back seat with the Secretlab is smaller since it goes more upright and has slightly different ratchet points with the recliner. It's a tiny detail most might miss, but that's important to me. I like having my elbows tucked in tight to the armrests right close to the seat, and that half-inch difference is noticeable to me. It was starting to seem like the Secretlab chair was really stealing the show. I mean, they're so similar. Each little difference on its own is virtually nothing, but together they really made it seem like the much more thoughtful chair. But now that I've sat on them for a while, there is one noticeable difference between these two chairs that makes the biggest difference to me, and that is the side bolsters on the seat itself. More true to a classic car bucket seat, the Secretlab has higher raised edges on its seat, which is fine when you're sitting with your legs directly in front of you. However, as I mentioned earlier, I often like to man spread pretty wide on my chair, and the flatter front of the Blacklyte seat makes sitting like that much more comfortable. And it's not just when I'm perched upright in the chair either. Sometimes I like to recline with my legs dangling off the sides, and the raised sides on the Secretlab really start to dig in under your legs. To be fair, they're both comfortable when you sit with crossed legs, but since I often like to have a wide base in my chair with my legs out, the Blacklyte might have just leapfrogged over all the other shortcomings with this key difference. Also, even though the armrests go lower on the Secretlab, when the seats are both as low as they go while fully rocked back, which is how I often like to sit a lot of the time, look at how much higher the Secretlab seat is. With the Blacklyte chair, when it's fully rocked back at its lowest setting, my feet touch the ground, which is nice. But on the Secretlab chair, with everything the same, my feet dangle, and I don't love that. I can still put them on the wheelbase though, which is where I often hang, but still, it's quite a different position. Before I offer my conclusion about who is the winner and my overall feelings on gaming chairs versus ergonomic chairs, I do want to point out a couple more things about this style of gaming chair. Since it is so versatile with rocking and reclining, which I do love, that comes with a tiny issue. Because of the frog mechanism these chairs use, when I'm sitting flat with the chair locked in upright mode, which I do a lot, there's a bit of a wobble they both have, and it's a little bit annoying. When you're working or gaming and locked into your position, you don't notice it. But in between positions or when the chair is locked upright, it's kind of obvious. I honestly thought I didn't install the seat properly until I got both chairs and learned that this was just something these types of chairs have. Also, because the armrests are so adjustable, if you shake the chair around, they rattle a bit. I never shake my chair, so this isn't a big issue for me, but it's just something worth noting. A few features I haven't touched on yet are the wheels. These both roll extremely well. I have them on carpet and no real complaints there. They aren't different enough to talk about. Super smooth, what you'd hope for. They both have magnetic pillows which can be lowered and raised. I've never had a chair with that feature and I like it. The material is nice and it's comfortable. I could see how it might stick out too much for some people, but since I often recline, it feels good to me. Then if I want to go really upright, I'll just take it off. As mentioned, they both have 4D armrests, which go up, slide forward and back, side to side, and can angle in or out. I usually have them angled like this and pulled all the way back. That's comfortable for me. And it's nice that they can go higher too, which is good when using your phone or trying to match the height of your desk to make your arms more comfortable. I've seen people mention they feel the recline mechanism is cheap, but I don't know. The handles and recline locks and feels sturdy to me. I disagree with those criticisms. I've had many sorts of recliners in my life, and sometimes the manual ones are just a bit loud and jarring. Just need some finesse. So how do gaming chairs compare to ergonomic chairs? Even though I haven't had a chance to spend time in a Herman Miller chair or any others on that level, while I'm sure those are amazing options for people sitting upright at their desks all day, I realize that even though I spend a lot of time at my desk, it's not always upright and it's not always productive. I would call myself a hybrid user, meaning I do like to sit upright and in a position that reduces pain while I'm working or playing, but I also love being productive in relaxed positions, or heck, let's just call them lazy positions. This is actually my most productive position, and I spend a lot of time like that throughout the day. I've never found an ergonomic chair that I can do that comfortably on. I'm not saying they don't exist, I'm just saying I haven't found it. And being able to sit like that is very important to me. I've sat on as many chairs as I can at Costco, at Staples, I've bought and sold a lot, you name it. I'm the kind of person who likes to eat everything on the menu before I decide what I'll have again. And after sitting on all the chairs that I have so far, office chairs, gaming chairs, ergonomic chairs, I will be picking a gaming chair as my main chair moving forward for both work and play. While I understand a lot of people prefer to work in ergonomic chairs, which I understand, but because of the range of positions I feel most comfortable in, the wide seat and highly adjustable angles make these gaming chairs the winner for me personally versus ergonomic chairs. Maybe that'll change if I get my hands on a $2,000 Herman Miller. I'll let you know if that ever happens. Now, out of the Secretlab Titan Evo and the Blacklyte Athena Pro, which do I prefer? I think these are both great chairs, and if I didn't have them side by side and had to review them separately, I might overlook a lot of little tiny details that I'm able to notice with having them side by side. I personally think the Secretlab chair looks better. The red stitching, the little bit of carbon fiber, all the extra detail they put into the design, I can see why this chair is extremely popular. Having a good looking chair that sparks joy every time you see it, that's worth something. I do prefer almost all of the little design choices they made with this chair, all except the way that they shaped the seat. It's not flat enough and feels just a little bit too restrictive for man spreading and upright sitting with your legs out. And ultimately for me, that is the most important part about having a chair like this. The seat on the Blacklyte is much better for the hybrid style of sitting I do. It's more flat, which is great for upright work or intense focusing, so I can get my body fully engaged with what I'm doing. And it's better for sitting with one leg under my body for longer sessions. Also, the Secretlabs chair feels very firm. The Blacklyte chair is firm too, but it just feels a little bit nicer after a couple hours. Also, while I said the Secretlab has better design choices, that doesn't mean the Blacklyte is bad. It's still a very slick looking chair. I think they nailed a lot of the details too, and they have other design options besides the plain one that I got. I'm a little surprised myself. When I started this, I thought the Secretlab would win easily, but after a few weeks, I actually prefer the Blacklyte Athena Pro. Good job, Blacklyte. Finding the right desk chair is tricky. There are a lot of different price points and every person has different preferences. The most important things for me might be different than for you. For me, having a chair that lets me sit in a wide range of positions throughout the day is why I'm drawn to these styles of gaming chairs over ergonomic chairs. I think the ergonomics of these gaming chairs are good enough for me to sit in to avoid pain and comfy enough for my body type to be in all day. However, if you're in an office and need to be in an upright position all day, and maybe you've got eyes on you making sure you're working, then I'm sure it's worth investing in something a little more built for long-term upright positions with proper ergonomics. Also, I've tried chairs that have leg rests built in, but I much prefer having a leg rest under my desk and a chair without the built-in leg rest so I can comfortably tuck my feet under the seat when I want. With the built-in rest, you can't really tuck your legs in comfortably. So that's it. I'm happy to say I have found a chair that I'm excited to sit in, and I'm finally able to upgrade from my 20-year-old IKEA chair, which is still going strong, by the way. I mean, for $200 to $300, it's hard to beat the value and durability of that IKEA chair. This Kalami is about half the price of these gaming chairs, and it feels like it. It's a decent choice for the price point, but personally, I need a little more from my chair, and spending a bit more for the gaming line of chairs like this is what suits me best. I do think it's worth investing in a good chair. I mean, I wish I could say go sit on this chair before buying it, but I know you can't. They are online only. And both of these companies do offer returns, but realistically, disassembling a chair and returning it does cost money and time. I think if you are like me and you want a chair you can work, play, and relax in and like to sit in different positions, this is a safe bet to buy this chair. But if you want something to work upright all day in, then I think it might be really worth doing a little more research and perhaps investing in an ergonomic chair. A desk chair is one of those things like shoes, a bed, a mouse. If you use it a lot in your life, it's going to have a major impact on your health and posture, etc. Spend the money on something good, you're worth it. Now that I'm happy with my chair, it's time to go find a good desk. Do you have any suggestions for me? And also, what do you think about either of these chairs? Do you have one of them? And if so, what has your experience been? I'm really looking forward to chatting about it in the comments below. And if you're new here, I like testing out products so you don't have to. I buy the shiny new thing and share whether or not I think it's worth the upgrade. If you like videos like that, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. Also, if you're able to quickly take a moment and thumbs up the video, I would really appreciate it. It helps tell the algorithm I'm doing a good job. In case you missed my Ultimate Mouse Showdown video, I'll link that here. Otherwise, here's what YouTube thinks you'd like to watch next. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Upgradeitis.